Caitlin, we ready? Okay. It's 9:30. It is Tuesday, Tuesday, April 21st. Look at the minute. Tuesday, April 21st, 9:30 here in the boardroom. This is the regular open meeting of the 3rd Laguna Hills Mutual Board of Directors, properly noticed meeting. I see that we have a quorum, so we will call the meeting to order. And I will ask Director Parsons to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please silence your cell phones.
Good idea.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So
I see Parsons first. I saw Rain Shostak second. All right. Any changes, adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none. All those in favor of the agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, agenda's approved. Now we'll move to the minutes of March 17th of the regular open meeting and April 3rd, 2026 agenda prep meeting. We'll take them both together. Motion to approve both sets of minutes. Johnson, I saw
Second.
Johnson first. I heard Reza second. All right. Any changes, adjustments, corrections? Hearing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, approved. Report of the chair. The only thing the chair has to say is that tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Clubhouse 2, we have a town hall. The town hall is specifically devoted to the topic of waistline remediation. That's the waistline pipes. We'll have a representative from M&C there to talk about the whole process, what's involved, when buildings are being done, etc. That's 3 to 4:30 in Clubhouse 2. Other than that, we'll move on to open forum.
Yes, there are two speakers today. Let's see. The first speaker is Chris Collins.
From the foundation. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. In case you didn't know who I am. Paul Goldstein provided this. So thank you. Chris Collins, 3306Q. And I'm here with an update on the work that the foundation does on behalf of residents who are experiencing temporary financial emergency. The possibility of wildfires has been a wake-up call. Over the past year, many of us have prepared wisely. We packed a go bag, we enrolled in OC Alert, we talked with neighbors about evacuation plans, and these steps matter. They bring peace of mind. But there is another simple step, probably the one that makes the most difference when something sudden happens close to home. A medical emergency, accident, theft, fire. In a crisis, clear thinking is hard, and your heart pounds and your thoughts scatter. It's a stressful moment, and the hardest part is often knowing who to call first. So if there is immediate danger, call 911 first, always. This includes medical emergencies, accidents, crimes in progress, fires, disaster response, and any situation where someone is at imminent risk and every minute counts. When you call 911, you reach dispatchers at the Orange County Communications Center who route your call to the first fire department, paramedics, or the Orange County Sheriff's Department as needed. The OC Sheriff's Department has served as the City of Laguna Woods contracted enforcement agency since 1999. This matters because the sheriffs and fire departments have training, authority, and resources that village security does not have, including emergency and medical response, coordination, crime scene investigation, missing persons searches, and disaster response. In many situations, village security must contact the sheriff, so calling 911 saves valuable time, and it can help prevent a situation from escalating. So now, in the case of non-emergency situations, that's when you call village security at 949-580-1400. And these are for things like assistance with leaks, noise complaints, lost property, parking concerns, gate clearance issues, wellness checks, such as when a neighbor has not been seen or heard from in several days and you're concerned. So for non-emergency crimes that have already occurred, such as vandalism or theft, residents can call the sheriff's non-emergency dispatch at 949-770-6011. And this is all, information is all being provided by the Foundation of Laguna Woods because we have a large emphasis going into emergency preparedness. So thank you.
Okay, final speakers, Dorothy Pacella.
Thank you. I'm here on behalf of the History Center, and I am a trustee. And in our continuing education of the village and the History Center, I wanted to share a little known fact with you. You may not have known, our founder was Ross Cortese, and he learned building from his father. And with that, he had a vision, believe it or not, that he knew that baby boomers, this is 1950, we all kind of know when that was, that they were going to have requirements when they retired. And he knew that there was going to be a niche for them in terms of housing requirements. And so with that, he went forward, but he knew that, in fact, that the baby boomers were going to need living areas and communities that would address their needs, not just necessarily their wants. So with that, believe it or not, he built Leisure World in Seal Beach. And it was good, but it's not what he wanted. So he went up the street and went to USC and asked them to do a study so that he could really understand what the requirements will be of seniors as they retire. And they came forth with this phenomenal study that now became the benchmark for us, because he knew that with that study, he was going to address the needs of retirees, not just the wants. So he built us. And as a result, we became the foundation of what was to be the very first retirement community in the country. But believe it or not, it wasn't just in the country. It was in the entire world. There was no other community like this around except for us. We were the model. We were the game changer. And what's interesting with the History Center that you may not realize, and what I wanted to share with you today, is that we host many countries who come to the History Center that want to learn how Ross built our community, because they will return to their country and replicate what we have here. So it's amazing to think, and I always get goosebumps when I hear this and say this, because we are really the role model. We are absolutely the benchmark from which all the community was served. And the History Center loves hosting these guests because they really are passionate about taking care of seniors in their countries and their communities. We are run by volunteers, don't forget, and we don't get paid. And the technology and the understanding we have of history, we come specifically from training and learning on the job. So we welcome you to come to the History Center, and particularly know that we run on donations. We don't get any funding from the village. We are independent. So if the lights are on, come on in. We'd love to see you. Otherwise, we're open 11 to 1 on Monday through Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Responses from anybody to either speaker?
Thank you.
Steve?
Yeah. Not only has the folks from
Foundation.
there we go, I'll get it here soon, come in and really helped out a lot, but they're one of our real strong supporters in disaster preparedness. And we have some people that are working with us in disaster preparedness are just super duper, and we appreciate that. So we hope that after this is over, the History Center can take what we did and put it in the history. So appreciate both of you.
Peggy?
I just want to thank you because it's always a pleasure hearing very much about what you're doing and how you're doing it. Thank you.
Jim, I see your hand.
Yeah, I have to disclose I'm also on the history board. So Dorothy and I serve together, and I got to tell you that is probably the best capsulation of what this community is about I've ever heard. So I appreciate it. If you want to hear an extended version, I give a presentation at the PC Club. The next presentation is this Friday, April 24th at 10 a.m. Would appreciate it if you're interested to register on the PC Club website, or you can actually just show up, but it'd be preferable to register. But thank you, Dorothy. I appreciate it.
Okay, anybody else? Comments? Reza?
Yeah, I wanted to say about the history. That's very important. Knowing the history helps you to find your way for the future. And that's very important to see what happened here and where we are going with it. And that's extremely important, especially for the people that serves on the board. They really need to know the history so they don't make any mistake going forward and learn from the past. And on the foundation, thank you for everything you're doing. And we have Director Parson working on a comprehensive plan for our disaster preparedness. This is the plan for our community, for our people, is separate from what's happening with the state or city or county and all of that. We need to take care of our member in the events of disaster. And they're really putting a lot of time and effort. Please, if they ask for help, don't hesitate. Help them to put this thing together. That's for all of our safety. And I thank both of you for that. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
May I add one comment?
Yes.
And Reza reminded me of it. We thank you for all of the research you provided Ruth on our committee when we were doing these CCNRs in the background. So thank you very much for all of that. You did a fabulous job.
Okay, and just as a final comment, I echo all of my colleagues here on the board when we say thank you to the foundation, Chris, and every month your presentations really inform us and inform the members about how important the foundation is to this community. And also, we get a monthly representative now from the History Center, so thank you for keeping us up to date on that. Moving along. We want to recognize, what? We want to recognize the mayor. Want to recognize the mayor?
Yeah.
You want to recognize the mayor?
I want to recognize the honor being here, Mayor, and we appreciate your interest in the community since you're living here with us. Thank you very much for being here.
Anything else?
No, sir, thanks.
Okay. We'll now go to the CEO report.
Thank you, Honorable President, members of the board. Those are tough acts to follow. I'll try to do my best. I'd like to start by sharing some good news this morning. During the week of March 16th, our resident services group across the hall made history by answering 100% of the calls they received in a given day. They answered 312 calls. No callbacks were needed. And for the month of March, they had a 95% answer rate, which is one of the highest ever. So my hat's off to the good work they're doing across the hall. It's also my privilege to tout the accomplishments of VMS Communications. Our team in 2025 sent out more than 1.2 million emails with a 51% open rate, which is about 2 times the national average. So people are getting their emails and reading them. And there was a 13% click-through rate, which is well above industry standards as well. In terms of the website, which was updated last year, there are 396,000 website users in 2025 and 1.8 million page views. Website traffic increased 20% over 2024. So my hat's off to communications as they try to reach as many residents as possible. Last Monday, a new bus route was launched, the Arbor bus route. This leaves Clubhouse 1 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, beginning at 10 a.m., and it travels across the freeway, if you will, to the Arbor Shopping Center. Residents now have new opportunities to shop at places like Sprouts, Smart and Final, and bank there and have lunch there and so forth. And I should note that the route was added with no impact on established funding. They reorganized some of the other routes to allow this one to happen. With April mailing going out soon, I want to encourage everyone to receive their future mailings electronically instead of via the U.S. mail. I make this pitch every year, but it costs about $8 per member to send out the fall and spring mailings. That's for postage and printing. Currently, about 4,200 owners have opted for electronic delivery, That saves about $33,000 per year. And then if we got everyone to do this, about 12,000 members going paperless would save about $100,000 per year. So if members are interested in going electronically, they can complete the form that comes out in their April and November mailings. It's called the Preferred Delivery Method form, or they can email into information@vmsinc.org with their preference. Again, we encourage electronic delivery. It's more efficient and saves money. And then Chris Collins kind of stole my thunder. I was going to talk about being wildfire ready as the warmer, drier weather is upon us. But just very quickly, know where your fire extinguishers are. Prepare a go bag, as Chris mentioned, with all your critical items, food, medications, cash, flashlights, and pet food if you're a pet owner. Create your wildfire action plan, as Chris mentioned. And there are many more tips at fire.ca.gov/prepare. We also want to encourage residents to stay alert with Alert OC. This is the countywide mass notification system, and you can register for this at ocgov.com/about-county/emergency. This is where all your county emergency updates will come to you. OC Fire Authority also has fire updates on their website, and for state fire information, visit fire.ca.gov/incidents. And as a reminder, we keep our residents alert with a tool called Everbridge. This supplements the county alert system, and it has specific emergency instructions for our residents. And you can sign up for this on any page of the village website. Look at the bottom right and click on the Everbridge icon, or you can register via your resident portal. And then it's also mosquito season, as we've probably all witnessed already with all the extra water this year. Mosquitoes just need a little bit of water to breed. Most mosquitoes come from small backyard sources, bird baths, plant saucers, and so forth. And then we have two prevalent types of mosquitoes here in our area. One is the Culex mosquitoes. These breed in gutters, ponds, and green pools, and they're active at dusk and dawn. And then there are the Aedes mosquitoes that we call the ankle biters. They're out all day long, and their eggs are notable because they can survive in dry conditions for years. To prevent mosquito bites, we encourage the use of mosquito repellent, wear repellent clothing, wear long sleeves, long pants, and lighter colored clothing. Keep your doors and windows closed or properly screened. And to eliminate breeding sources, dump water from plant saucers that you have outside or in your house regularly. Drain standing water from outdoors containers, and clean and scrub bird baths and pet bowls that you may have outside. As you know, we receive our mosquito services from Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District, and they're available at ocvector.org. If you need something evaluated, please fill out their service request form on their website, and the inspectors can assess potential breeding sources and provide guidance to you. And that concludes my update this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see hands already. I saw it. So Donna's first, and then we'll go Steve second.
I just want to say thank you for that report. And in terms of the November and April mailings, it's astounding that $33,000 a year was saved with only 1/3 of our community actually using this. So my question would be, is it possible to have that form available here in the lobby or with our concierge desk or somehow to encourage further?
Sure, I'll see what we can do.
It just, because if we multiply that by 3, we're really saving
Yes,
something.
that $100,000 a
Yeah.
year would be a great savings.
Okay,
Yes.
Director Parsons.
Yeah, can you tell me what percentage of the people in the whole village have signed up for Everbridge? Approximately?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I'll get that to you before this afternoon's meeting.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Director Karimi.
Thank you, Madam CEO. Is there any update on the coyotes? I saw some communication on the, media. Is there any update? Is our plan working? Are we better off now?
I mean, just anecdotally, it seems as though activity has not been as heightened as it was previously. I know the city continues their abatement efforts within the village, but that's my anecdotal
So our
observation.
plan kind of working, and we are better positioned than we were before. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? If not, thank you very much. We'll move on now to the consent calendar, which everything on the consent calendar is approved under one motion. Can I get, is that Parsons, are you moving?
Yep.
Director Moore, you seconding? Okay. All right, the consent calendar is on the table. All those in favor of the consent calendar as submitted signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, consent calendar is approved. We'll now move on to unfinished business. First item is to entertain a motion to approve the revision to Standard 44, electrical vehicle charging stations. This was originally on March meeting. This is now up after 28 days for final approval. And I'll ask the Secretary, Director Johnson, to please read the resolution.
Resolution 0326XX, revised standard 44, electric vehicle charging stations. Whereas the Third Laguna Hills Mutual recognizes the need to amend standards and create new standards as necessary. And whereas the Mutual recognizes the need to revise Standard 44, electric vehicle charging stations. Now therefore be it resolved, April 21st, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts revision and amendments to Standard 44, electric vehicle charging stations as attached to the official meeting minutes. And resolve further that Resolution 03-1545, adopted April 21st, 2015, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution as written.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve? Director Parsons moves, Director Moore seconds. Motion's now on the floor for any discussion. Director Parsons.
Yeah, on page 21 of 24, the yellow highlighted there, I was just wondering if this legislation passed, SB 770, that this will have to be modified in the future?
Mr. Grimshaw, would you like to respond to that question?
Good morning. If I understand you correctly, the revision is primarily to do with that highlight. So the highlight suggests that the mutual cannot require to be named as additional assured. So the policy itself now reflects that.
Well, there was a dollar amount attached to it also.
That's also reflected in our new
Yeah,
motion.
but that will go away if the bill passes, right?
The bill has already passed,
No.
if you look.
The bill has passed.
The
So
bill is
on-
passed. The governor signed it on October 10th.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So that's already in place.
On
Alrighty.
page 19 of 24, section 5.1 addresses those concerns.
Okay? Director Creamy.
Yeah, on page 23, the license agreement, can you shed some light on what's the license agreement with the owner so they understand?
I'm trying to find where you're at.
23 of 24, first paragraph. The yellow. The yellow part, and the red
Right.
license agreement. Can you
So-
shed some light what it is so member understand what they enter into?
Anytime a member is making an improvement or an alteration to mutually owned property, the board is requiring a license agreement to protect the mutual's interest. So that's all that is.
And I guess, just to follow up on that, the license agreement, all our license agreements that residents sign only runs with that particular owner of the manor for that length of time. If that manor is sold or something happens to the owner of that manor, that license agreement is no longer in existence and must be signed by a new member if they want to maintain or continue whatever that is.
Correct. And the availability of the space
Right.
also, because sometimes the space might not be available for the members or the unit. So people have to understand that it's not bulletproof, that, you know, if it is there, I have the right to it, is the availability is the issue also.
Director Parsons.
Are there provisions in the lease agreement for damage
Yes,
that they cause? Okay.
yes. And their responsibility for that damage, yes. Anybody else questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. We'll now move on to the next item, which is the alterations accessibility policy. This too has been on 28 days, and I'll ask the Secretary, Director Johnson, if you would please read the resolution.
Resolution 0326XX, Alterations Accessibility Policy. Whereas the Third Laguna Hills Mutual recognizes the need to amend policies and create new policies as necessary. And whereas the Mutual recognizes the need for the mutual policies to work in harmony with relative county, state, and national guidelines. And whereas the Mutual recognizes the need to revise the alterations for accessibility policy. Now therefore be it resolved, April 21st, 2026, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the alterations for accessibility policy as attached to the official meeting minutes. And resolve further that the determination of whether a proposed accessibility alteration meets the criteria set forth by the alterations for accessibility policy shall be made by staff and processed as a mutual consent. And resolve further, unapproved deviations from the approved AA may be subject to resolution through the variance process. Additionally, objections received within 10 days of notifications will require a variance. Resolve further, appeals may be made to the mutual board, whose decision shall be final and made in the mutual board's sole and absolute discretion. Resolve further, the ACSC is to be notified as to building location and type of accessibility alterations whenever an accessibility alteration has been approved through the mutual consent process. Resolve further that Resolution 032603, adopted January 21st, 2026, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution as written.
Okay, can I get a motion to put this on the floor, please? Parsons moves.
I'm a second.
Reza seconds. Okay, any discussion? Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion as resolution as submitted signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Unanimously approved. We now move on to new business, which we have none. Entertain a motion to approve updated committee appointments. Okay, sorry about that. We have committee appointments for two committees under GRF. I'm sorry, one committee under GRF, which is the Water Conservation Committee, which meets quarterly. This is a committee that is going to basically replace the third Water Conservation Committee. Is that correct?
That's my understanding. We have not met yet to
Right,
plan
but this
moving
is the
forward,
plan.
so-
The plan is that this committee at the GRF level will include United, Third, and represent from GRF and possibly Mutual 50.
Correct.
And that it will be done, set up to
Community-wide.
replace, so that we have a single committee. Okay? That's the Water Conservation Committee, would consist of Director Rain Sostak, Craig Wayne, Ruth Johnson, Steve Parsons is the alternate, and the other change is that under disaster preparedness, Steve Parsons would be co-chair. Okay?
Mr. Chair, on the Finance Committee, I'm listed as a member since Mr. Craig Wayne is back. Are you still me to be on that, or I'm just bringing it up?
Craig, are you ready to reassume your role on the Finance Committee for GRF? Okay, then we'll also make that substitution
Yeah.
and put Craig Wayne back on that
You
committee.
can put me in the alternate,
And make Reza Karimi an alternate. Okay?
just in case.
Thank you. Any other suggestions or comments? Hearing none, motion to approve those changes. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Crane moves. I see Parsons raise his hand quickly for a second. All those in favor of the changes as submitted signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Mr. President,
Yes?
I just wanted to submit to Michaela the one that was sent to me as the last one, which had some red lines through it, and I said I'd bring that to you. That didn't seem to be the correct.
Okay.
Okay, well, the most up-to-date version's the one in your guys' packet.
Great.
Okay. We're going from I'm sorry. GRF. Oh, so, I'm sorry, we made a mistake, and it was just pointed out to me. The Finance Committee is the third Finance Committee, not the GRF Finance Committee. So Reza will be replaced by Craig on the third Mutual
Yes.
Finance Committee. I said GRF. It
Oh,
was my
oh,
mistake.
no, no, okay, no.
So
I meant
thank
it.
you for correcting that, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. We have no new business. We move on to reports. We'll start with the treasurer.
It would be me. Thank you, Your Worship. Okay, so the treasurer's report, let's see, where am I here? We are, should be more organized, right? Especially dealing with the money. Okay. Okay, our last committee meeting was on April 7th, 2026. Our next meeting is May 5th, 2026 in the boardroom. And for today's report, we see, what do we got here? Slide number 1. Through the reporting period of February 28th, 2026, total revenue for third was $8.6 million compared to expenses of $7.2 million, resulting in net revenue year-to-date of $1.4 million. Okay, slide 2. This table shows the full income statement and compares those results to budget. We can see that the third ended the period better than budget by $1.3 million when combining both operating and revenue and reserve revenues and expenses. Most of that is strictly timing and carryover from the prior year accruals and whatnot. So by the end of the year, that should even out. If we go to slide number 3, the most significant variances to budget were attributable to outside services, favorable variance of $878,000, primarily in M&C and landscape across various programs such as copper piping replacement, roof replacements, prior to paint program, tree maintenance, etc., etc. Again, this is carryover from the prior year, and it should balance out by the end of the year. Next would be the employee compensation and related, favorable $253,000. That's primarily to landscape having open positions for tree trimmers and gardeners, and we're currently attempting to recruit people to fill those open positions. Next, we have investment income, $80,000 favorable, and that's because we have higher investment balances. and proper management of our funds, and better returns on our treasury bills. Materials and supplies, $66,000 favorable, and that's primarily an M&C driven by the timing of material consumption across community programs, including prior to paint and dry rot repairs. And then finally, the fees and charges to residents is unfavorable by $41,000, and that's due to the timing of billing of chargeable services to residents for damage restoration and inspection fees. If we can go to slide 4. Okay, this pie chart, we present our non-assessment revenues earned to date of $581,000 by category, starting with our largest revenue-generating categories of investment income, followed by chargeable services, other, which is small. They're all various and sundry small amounts. There's not much to say, really. So let's move on to the next. Slide number 5. These are the expenses, as mentioned before, of $7.2 million by category, starting with the largest of employee compensation, outside services, utilities, insurance, so on and so forth. And if we move on to slide 6, we've got, let's see, the operating fund shows a surplus of $375,000 through the reporting period. This table shows how much of our revenue went into operations, with $5.3 million coming in from assessments and $359,000 coming from non-assessment revenue. This is compared to operating expenditures of $5.3 million, excluding depreciation. And slide 7. The non-operating fund balances on February 28, 2026 totaled $35.7 million. In 2026, contributions, interest, and fund transfers totaled $2.9 million, while expenditures were $1.9 million. This table shows us that our non-operating fund balances increased by $1.1 million overall. And if we move on, okay, we compare the non-operating fund balances to historical fund balances for the past 5 years on this chart, which has averaged $33.9 million. Third Laguna Hills Mutual has been committed to supporting reserve requirements and having more contingency funds for unexpected events, as can be seen in the chart. And slide number 9, finally we have a slide here to show resale history from 2024 to 2026. Through February 28, 2026, third resales totaled 35, which is 18 less of resales as the prior year for the same time period. The average year-to-date resale price for Third Mutual was $762,000, which is $184,000 more than the prior year for the same time period. And that's all I got.
That concludes your report? Okay. Moving on, we now have the Architectural Control and Standards Committee. This committee met last March 9th, and at that meeting on March 9th, we addressed a variety of things. The variance requests that were all approved today came out of that committee, as well as the electric vehicle charging station revision that also came out of this committee and was approved today by the board. In terms of future items, we're looking at replacing pipes when people do major renovations, remodeling, that they be required to include shutoff valves. That's being considered. We're looking at wrought iron fencing. We're looking at patio and balcony covers. ramps, and vinyl fences. Next meeting is Monday, April 13th. Well, that was the meeting, April 13th. I'm sorry. And our next meeting is scheduled for, why am I?
May 11th.
May 11th.
May 11th, thank you. 9:30 here in the boardroom. Next up is Maintenance Construction. Director Karimi.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Maintenance and Construction Committee met on April 6th at 1:30 p.m. in the boardroom, and there were several items on the agenda for that. One was the request for crosswalk for Building 2384-1B, and after discussion, we understood that's a GRF issue and was sent to GRF for a decision process. And the other item was consideration of discontinued annual termite inspection. Mr. Barnett provided a summary by the staff to report and answer questions. The committee decided to approve the staff recommendation for discontinuation of termite inspection. Gardenville Association budget was discussed. There was several items on that, and the funding the committee decided to provide funding through the operation and a couple of other items on that from the reserve fund. Gardenville Recreation Building Room Restoration Remodeling estimate was about $15,000, and for the women's restroom, and that was approved for 2027 budget. Also, the proposed 2026 Shepherd Crook installation was approved for the part that is alongside the Cantante and the Avenida del Sol instead of the Santa Maria Avenue, and that was approved. Our next meeting is May 4th, 2026 at 1:30 p.m.
Here
in the boardroom.
Here in the boardroom. Thank you. Next up is Landscape Committee, Director Parsons.
Yes, we met earlier this month, and I just want to take a little time to cover some highlights. The tree maintenance program is up and running. Arbor Pro, our tree trimming contractor, has been working in Section 2, and that's in Gate 1 in United. And we'll begin working this month in Section 3 behind Section 2. Our trees are trimmed based on a 6-year species-based trim cycle. So if our people would remember that, that would really be helpful. Slope maintenance in Gate 14 is outsourced to MTC Landscape Incorporated and is on schedule. The annual program is 25% complete. Tree treatment has been completed concerning the beetle infestation project. We are now monitoring each tree that was treated. We expect the trees to show recovery results in 4 to 6 months. Last month, there were 8 trees and bushes removed. Removals include fig, fruit, mulberry, orange, metaleuca, and magnolia trees. And as was referenced in a recent article in the Village Breeze for March and April, just wanted to highlight 3 things in there. Common use areas. Planting fruit trees or vegetables in common use areas remains strictly prohibited. Number 2, vegetable removal. The updated resolutions reiterate that any vegetables found in these areas must be removed. I believe that's immediate. And then something from the city, they're saying never feed wildlife. This is prohibited under Laguna Woods Municipal Code Section 5.20.070. And that's my report.
Thank you very much. Next meeting of the Landscape Committee is set for May 7th at 9:30 a.m. here in the boardroom.
Correct.
Moving on, water conservation.
The Water Conservation Committee, that is the third Mutual Water Conservation Committee, last met on October 30th of 2025, and indeed it was the last meeting. It is now, and I'm very pleased to report, moving to a community-wide effort which will be combined with both United, GRF, and us, and we will report to you as that initiative moves forward.
And you and Sue Kwan from United are going to be co-chairs of that committee, is that correct? That's the intent. Okay, thank you. All right, Resident Policy and Compliance Committee did not meet last month. But we'll be meeting next month, and the meeting is scheduled for April 28th, I'm sorry, this month, April 28th at 9:30 here in the boardroom. Moving on, we now have the Garden Villa Recreation Room Committee. Director Park.
Yes, the third Mutual Recreation Room Committee meeting was held on March 18th, 1:30 p.m. in this boardroom. In the meeting, staff presented a report of 2026 project plans for repair and replacement. Also reported rec room fund sources and balances. And they discussed 2027 project plans and budget. Below are the detailed information of the 2026 and 27 projects. First, staff present the component useful life master schedule plan of 2026. Second, 2026 rec room component replacement schedule. Third, staff present the rec room fund balances at the end of the 2026. Committee have also discussed of LVT flooring color samples and adopted all 4 color selections. Committee approved the General Service Director Campos proposed installing internet service in the recreation room at monthly charge of $40 per building. That equate to $1.75 per manor. Staff also confirmed that they will recommend the surcharge as part of 2027 budget. That is increase of a monthly assessment from $6.5 to $8.25 per manor. Next, the GVA Rec Room Committee meeting schedule is on July 8th here at Boardroom. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move on to the GRF Committee reports, and we'll start with Director Fox on Community Activities Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, so we had, since the last board meeting, we've had 2 Community Activities Committee meetings. One was on March 24th, and the second one was on April 9th. And most of both committee meetings dealt with administrative and organizational matters pertaining to community activities and events and whatnot. There were discussions about allocations of funds for certain things, such as it might have been last month about the curtains. Was that last month?
Yes. Yeah.
That all runs together. Okay. Anyway, there's nothing really of note. They recommended a pilot program for a reduced fee for junior golfers on the small par 3 golf course, just to run from June, July, August as a test to see if we get more members there. The argument being that people wanted to play with their grandchildren, and why should a 14-year-old have to pay the adult rate? And let's see, we talked ad nauseum about the dress code for the golf course. And yours truly was the focal point of what not to wear. We had a pretty in-depth discussion about rec room rental fees and what should be charged to members, non-members, whatever. And the motion to recommend changes was defeated, so it apparently died in committee. And other than that, I can't think of anything of note that happened in the CAC meeting, although we met for hours. Just
Okay. Your next meeting is May 14th
okay.
at 1:30 here in the boardroom.
I'll be there.
All right, so we'll now allow you to go on and talk now about traffic court.
Oh, this one is fun. So, just to repeat what I say every month, people come in and they want their 2 minutes of fame to get up and badger us about how we should waive the fees and whatnot. And I think in almost every circumstance, we don't lower the fines because it's a matter of safety and health. And when people are speeding through the neighborhood or running running stop signs or whatever, it's people are going to get hit, and they've been hit down the street from me. So while we had a few moments before one of the people showed up for their hearing, we were looking at the list of fines that are currently in place. And we kind of realized that if somebody runs a stop sign, the first offense is like $200. And the second offense is $3, and the third offense, I think, is $4. Okay. So we looked at that, and it's pretty pricey, and people come in and they complain about it all the time. It's too expensive. And the issue is, this is not a fundraiser, while people may think. This is a deterrent that if you run that stop sign, you're putting somebody at risk, and this fine is to remind you that next time you better not do it. My point of all this is that the fines for speeding are minuscule. If you're speeding and you're going 7, 8 miles an hour over the speed limit, the first offense is like $40. And then if you're going like 10, 12 miles an hour, the first offense is like $100. What we saw was that the fines being assessed for speeding, which is a big problem. I know they drive 50, 60 miles an hour down my street, up and down every single day. So we recommended to staff to look into revisiting the fines assessed for speeding in the village. And I believe they're going to put together a report to bring to a resident policy for discussion. And we're recommending that the prices be pretty hefty. Like if you're going 15, 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, we want to raise the rates. First offense, $250, second offense, $500, third offense, $750. We're going to get people to stop speeding. It's the whole point. It's not, people are going to get up and say that we shouldn't be trying to raise money. And what we say is this is a matter of public safety, that when they're, like I say, driving down my street at 60 miles an hour, people get hit, people get killed. And we're going to do what we can on our part to stop that.
Okay.
I have a question. Shouldn't that go before the GRF committee so it covers the whole community?
Well, that is, it's not your resident policy, it's this is the GRF committee, traffic, and they're going to bring it to the GRF policy or whatever committee to discuss raising the fines for speeding in the village.
Okay.
And that is all I got for traffic hearing.
So your next meeting is May 20th at 9 a.m. in the boardroom. You have a question, Director?
Can I
Finley?
ask a question? If there's a state sale and people coming for a state sale and get the speeding ticket, who pays for it?
The driver gets the ticket, but whoever signed them in at the gate is responsible if the driver doesn't pay.
So people that running the state sale are responsible for it?
If they sign you in and you commit a violation, we're gonna write the ticket and put it on you, even though it doesn't go to the DMV or outside world. But if you just blow us off because you're never going to be here again, then whoever signed you in at the gate, they're responsible and they'll pay.
But that's the issue. I don't think anybody sign anybody at the gate when there is a state sale. They just say, I'm going to the state
Well,
sale.
that's not a traffic court issue, though.
No, but, you know, but I'm asking.
That would be a
because if they
policy
issue
issue
a
that they
ticket-
shouldn't be letting anybody in.
I don't, that's,
Okay.
am I going to bring it up in your next meeting?
Next up, Director Parsons, disaster preparedness.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to tell everybody out there that we're here for you, and we're trying to look out for you before a disaster happens so you can be prepared. The Disaster Preparedness Committee has been restructured to reflect a resident-oriented model. The new organizational structure was presented at the 31st March meeting to include the need for restructuring the task force, the forming of a steering committee, an organizational chart, committee formations, and committee assignments. The steering committee is made up of myself from representing Third Mutual, Anthony Liberatore from United Mutual, and Jeannie Costello from the GRF board. The organizational chart cited a working group made up of clubhouse coordinators, Par 3, Garden Villa Association, Gate 11 coordinators, and representatives from the Laguna Woods Foundation, City of Laguna Woods representatives, and our Ham Radio Club. Committees were formed for communications, clubhouse organization, and forums development, training, and resources. 2 other committees were formed to address Gate 11 and Garden Villa Associate special concerns. At the end of the meeting, attendees were encouraged to write down any concerns they noticed that needed addressing. Many inputs were received by the steering committee. Total, I think, was about 40, and it's growing. The next meeting will be held this Thursday, the day after tomorrow, the 23rd, 9:30 here in the boardroom. We are recruiting volunteers for the committee, and volunteers and anyone wanting information about the program are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, GRF Maintenance Construction Committee, Director Johnson.
Yes, this meeting was held yesterday afternoon. We first reviewed the projects that GRF has planned and budgeted for this year and next. The committee expressed some concern that the cost showed zero expenditures on almost all the projects. And it was explained that that's because the invoices haven't come in yet. So the information we're receiving is really not current. It's already April and it still states zero expenditures. We then reviewed several different projects that are ongoing. The first one is the shuffleboard room carpet update. That's been completed, and apparently those who use that facility are very happy. We also looked at different designs for chemical storage for the pool and agreed to choose the concrete one, which is the most safe and least expensive over time, expected to last about 60 years. So we won't see the end of that. So the other one is Clubhouse 6 pool is being replastered, and they discovered that one of the skimmers is not operating. It's been patched over the years. So we authorized one new skimmer. The next meeting will be held Wednesday, June the 10th at 9:30 in the boardroom.
Thank you. Moving along, Director Fox, GRF Finance Committee.
Well, gee. Thank you, sir. Okay, so since our last board meeting, we've had 2 meetings of the GRF Finance Committee. First one was on March 31, and the second one was April 15th. And we, well, the bottom line is there's an ongoing work regarding the 2027 budget, and we should be seeing the version 1, I believe, next month or something. Okay. Everybody's been putting in their requests for money, and it's like Christmas all over again. So anyway, along with all of that, certain amounts of expenditures over and above the 2026 budget were discussed and approved. One was for a consultant to design Building E. That was for $336,500. Then, let's see, we approved, the curtain replacement. Yeah, I knew that was there somewhere. $38,000 for a new curtain replacement in the PAC, the theater curtain. And then we approved $113,000 to replace 6 utility vehicles, and $410,000 to purchase 2 buses to replace 2 that are no longer or are about to be no longer in service. That was March 31. On April 15th, we approved funds to remodel a portion of the 3rd floor here so we can move the people who are renting across the courtyard there from damage restoration, move them into this building. I don't recall what the amount of money was, but we approved that, the remodel. And other than that, there was the pool skimmers, there was a new pool entry gate replacements for Clubhouse 5 and 6. Those funds were approved. And let's see, I think that's pretty much all we did. We had fun spending money. It was great.
Thank you. Next meeting is June 17th at 1:30 here in the boardroom.
Can I
Sounds
ask just a
great.
quick question?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably to Siobhan. On Clubhouse 6, was there something done with the solar panels? Were they removed, or are they functioning, or?
I'm not aware of that. I can find out for you.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Okay. Moving along. GRF Mobility and Vehicles Committee, Director Hopkins.
Thank you. Seems like most of my report has been already given. We've had the new Arbor bus route, which we discussed. Thanks for the CEO report. It's actually very successful. Also, we discussed bus replacement. Okay, same as Director Fox reported in his Finance Committee. They approved it. Basically, 4 diesel buses, which highlight a lot of maintenance and are just aging, were replaced with 2 gas buses. And the next meeting is May 6th at 1:30.
Thank you very much. Next up is GRF Landscape Committee, Director Rain Shostak.
The GRF Landscape Committee meets quarterly. Its last meeting was February 11th. And as is often the case at some of the GRF meetings, there's discussion about the creek and the maintenance of it, and always the reminder that much of our maintenance guidelines comes from the state, from Fish and Wildlife. And so while we would like to trim some things, we can't always do that. So that always takes up a part of the meeting. And there was some discussion as well on watering of non-functional turf. It was interesting to note that GRF has small patches of non-functional turf, and they're going to try and figure out as the legislation comes through what to do with that. And the next quarterly meeting will be May 13th, right here in the boardroom at 1:30.
Thank you very much. Next up is Information Technology and Advisory Committee, Director Hopkins.
Yeah, this meeting is closed primarily because of the vendor involvement. However, I will disclose that we are discussing now whether or not the advisory committee, which was formed about 4 years ago, is necessary on an ongoing basis, since a lot of the work, spade work with the ERP has been done, and most of this is now, I'll call it, in management's hands, and they're continuing to progress. So they could probably be monitored by a normal committee or a normal structure within the board. But it's continuing to discuss that. Next meeting is to be determined.
Okay. Director Karimi, you're up next with GRF Broadband Committee.
GRF Broadband Committee didn't meet, so I don't know what the next meeting is.
It says May 28th at 1:30 here in the boardroom.
That's what the Mr. President say, I accept that.
Next up is GRF Security and Community Access Committee, Director Parsons.
Right, the last meeting was held the 25th of February, and I reported on that last month. The next meeting is April 22nd at 1:30 here in the boardroom.
Thank you very much.
May I bring up something on that, please?
What?
May I bring up something on that,
Yes.
please? I received a letter, and it was written to me as a third board member, but if I could have the attention of the president and maybe the other members, I think this should probably go to the security. It is a letter from a woman named Elizabeth, and she speaks to several issues about clutter and about wood rot. Would that come here, or would I have it before the policy committee and the
Well,
GRF.
if it's clutter, it should go to compliance. And if it's dry rot, it should go to M&C.
Okay, then I will give this to you, Siobhan. And her name is Elizabeth. That's all I know about her. She was at the January meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, next up is the GRF Energy Committee, and we're back to Director Rain Shostak.
This newly formed committee actually had its first joint formative meeting on March 9th. And really, it was an organizational meeting to really talk about what this committee is going to do moving forward. And therefore, we're looking forward to its next meeting, which is going to be May 18th at 9:30 in the morning here at the boardroom.
Thank you. And last but not least, Director Hopkins, Land Use Ad Hoc Committee.
Yeah, this was the first meeting of a brand new committee, which is formed by GRF. We discussed what possibly could be our charter, and we're still in the process of discussing that. We also went over a highlight of the land, quote, that is available or not being utilized for any specific purpose by GRF at the moment. So we had a highlight of that land. We also started to discuss both trust and legal implications of any use other than the intended use set up as the trust and any sort of legal limitations. That is an ongoing discussion.
Okay.
The next meeting is April 24th, 2026 at 10 a.m. in the boardroom.
Okay, next item on the agenda is future agenda items. Anybody have future agenda items? Hearing none, we'll go to director's comments. We'll start with Director Park. Director Hopkins.
None.
Director Moore.
None, thank you.
Director Parsons.
None.
Director Rain Shostak.
No comment.
Director Karimi.
Well, thank you for the short meeting. Now we don't know what to do with the hours. We're going to learn Italian?
Director Johnson.
No comment.
Director Fox.
No comment.
No
Direct-
comment, thank you very much.
Welcome back.
CEO. Michaela. I would like to, on behalf of the board, welcome back
Yes.
Director Craig Wayne, who's been absent due to medical issues, but he's now back with us. And hopefully everything is moving in the right direction and you'll be with us on a regular basis.
Nice seeing all of you.
Nice to have you back.
Nice to have you back. Other than that, we will recess. It is 10:38.
Yeah, and your food, I believe Paul said gets delivered at 10:45. So do you guys want to reconvene at 11:15?
So we'll
11:30?
reconvene at 11:15.
We're going to learn Italian.
Okay? Other than that, this meeting is in recess, and we'll see you upstairs for the second closed meeting.
Thank you.
Listen.